So let's hypothetically speaking, you're at Tiffany's and you get like this amazing proposal, and it's like, oh my gosh, this $20,000 ring.
Just like my ring.
Yes, of course, I'm going to marry you.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Got
10
my
years down the road.
We're ready to go.
10 years down the road, you hate each other and you want to throw them off a building.
That's right.
Obviously, the rings are worth something and might be okay. So
Absolutely.
Would the engagement ring portion of the wedding ring?
That's a good question. If we do that these days, do people still do engagement rings and then add the band for the wedding ring? Oh, they do. Okay.
Yes.
I've been married way too long. It's a gift. It's not marital property. A gift to the person individually, a wedding ring or an engagement ring is given to that one. It's not given to anybody else. It's not given to the marriage. Similarly, when guys get their gold band worth $350, they get to keep that. All $350 worth, which is just almost equivalent to what a Tiffany's ring costs. But unfortunately, that's been well litigated, and the case law is clear that wedding rings and therefore engagement rings are particular gifts to the individual and not divided, not taken into consideration as far as the marital estate.
So would inheritance also be considered the same as a gift, or?
Yeah, well, gifts and inheritance are a little bit different, but the treatment can be the same, because inheritance is essentially, it's easier to track inheritance because usually, obviously, there's a death event, and then there's many times a will, and there's a named beneficiary of the estate. So it's easy to say the inheritance goes to X person, and this is what the inheritance was. Could be real property, could be retirement funds, an IRA or 401k that's transferred, could be cash in an account, whatever. So that inherited amount is easy to determine and therefore segregate from the marital property as long as you keep it marital, separate, and you don't commingle it with the marital funds. Gifts don't have that kind of history because there doesn't have to be a death event, obviously, to provide a gift. But gifts still are separate property. Again, if you can indicate the person who gave you the gift and that it was a gift just to that individual, which again, you have to figure that one out. And then you, of course, keep that gift of that amount separate. Gifts are pretty popular for money transfer families. Families will, transfer their wealth to their kids through annual gifts, and I think it's $15,000 per individual can be transferred without any gift tax to that. So that happens a lot. And that's a gift to the individual, but then you got to prove it wasn't a gift to the marriage. It wasn't a gift to us as a couple. It was a gift to me particularly, and therefore you kept it separate in a separate account. Because if you put it in a joint account, you commingle the funds. So while they're treated the same, you got to trace them a little more carefully with regard to the gift because it's not as obvious as inheritance.